kay wala mi kaya nga ipakabot sa among mga anak.
Kung adunay mga Bisaya nga motipon pagpuyo sa tribong Mamanwa, mo palayo na usab sila, mo usa kana ka hinungdan.
Busa sa pagkakaroon nga kami na ang mga sumusunod, nakita namo nga nagkaanam og kaupaw gumikan sa mga dayuhan.
Often disadvantaged, their lack of sustainable employment makes them vulnerable to exploitation, their rights violated. Since 1920, the ILO has been working to protect and promote the rights of indigenous peoples. ILO's Indigenous and Tribal Peoples Convention, or ILO Convention 169, is a legally binding international instrument and strengthens national policies such as the Philippines Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act, or IPRA. By virtue of the IPRA, the indigenous peoples have been gaining back their rights over their ancestral domains. ILO's work with the indigenous peoples has been centered on empowering indigenous peoples towards achieving self-reliance and sustainable, inclusive, and greener growth in the Philippines. With the help of the Spanish government and the Embassy of Finland in the Philippines, the ILO is implementing an Indigenous Peoples Development Program, or IPDP, in Mindanao. One project site is the Caraga Region. IPDP paved the way for the indigenous peoples to take the lead in pursuing growth and development in their communities based on needs which they themselves identified.
Halimbawa, itong niyugan ito, may plano kami na magdagdag ng another na farm para magkaroon ng additional na niyugan. May protected area kami, fishing ground, may hunting ground.
From there onwards, a convergence mechanism composed of government agencies, non-government organizations, and private institutions was set up to provide appropriate assistance. This unique strategy, in fact, has already resulted to one promising output: the Manobo Community Sago Palm Enterprise in Veruela, Agusan del Sur. The sago palm trees, called lumbia, grow in abundance in the Agusan Marsh within the Caraga region and is a source of food for the Manobos during lean months. Studies showed that flour made from sago palm is a good and cheaper alternative to imported wheat flour. Today, the Manobo Community Sago Palm Enterprise, run by an indigenous business organization called the Kayumbiahan Sago Manobo Corporation, or Kasama Corp, is producing and selling flour, thereby creating opportunities for community members to have access to decent and productive work.
Corporation siya kasi ang gusto namin na magkaroon ng kapangyarihan talaga yung tribo, yung nagmamay-ari talaga ng lumbia.
Sago palm flour can be used in making breads, cookies, and even ice cream cones.
Pag makita na yung pamilya ng tribo, yung mga anak nila, mapapag-aaral na nila, tapos na ng high school at kahit kolehiyo pa.
All these efforts support the country in its goal of achieving sustainable, inclusive, and greener growth. Indeed, the key to achieving the hopes and dreams of the indigenous peoples lie in the abundant resource within their very own ancestral domains. The Philippine archipelago is home to 110 ethno-linguistic tribes, each with their own unique culture and tradition. Sadly, however, many of them are struggling even just to survive. But given the experience of IPDP Caraga, there is a ray of hope. As the Manobo people in Veruela have done, so can the other indigenous communities, by unlocking the key that will open doors of economic opportunities for them and their next generation, in order that they may live decently and with dignity. We can help them. We from government, private institutions, non-government organizations, and the international community can choose to be part of this convergence and make a difference.
This is something about commitment. This is something about trying to work together, and that people whom we are supposed to serve really feel that their lives are being touched by what we are doing.